So our form is looking pretty good at this stage. And what we're going to want to do is one last thing, and that's going to be adding a custom form notice. And that's the last setting we're doing on this form. So why don't I show you exactly how we go ahead and do that? Now, as always, we'll start here in the back end of our Divi site. And all we need to do to create a form notice that is customized is you could either use the text settings, and actually, let me go ahead and enable the visual builder and show you what I'm talking about. So I'll open up the module settings, and when we scroll down here to the notices area, you can type in a custom text notice, but that was kind of boring, right? So let's build something in the Divi library because we have that option here. That's going to look a lot better and be a little bit more striking and more informative for the people that are using your site. So hopping back here, I'm just going to go to Divi library, and then I'm just going to go add a new layout. We'll call this form notice. And, of course, the name doesn't matter. That's arbitrary, but you can, it's good to use something that's descriptive if you have multiple forms on your site that might have multiple purposes that would, warrant their own form notice. You can definitely go ahead and create one for each one of them. And it's also fair to note that you can create two types of notices for your form. It is the success submission and the failed submission notice. So there might be some different things you want to advise a user in that scenario. We're going to set this to just be a layout type. It's not a loop or anything fun like that. It is just a regular layout. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to go ahead and enable or build with the Divi Builder from scratch. Now we'll just go ahead and add a single column row. I think what we'll do is we'll just put a heading that says, hey, thank you for your new classified submission. And then maybe add a couple buttons, one to take the user to their account, or another button to allow them to submit yet another form or another classified post, rather. So let's go ahead and start by adding one text module. There we go. And we are just going to put a H2 here, and we'll say, thank you for your classified post. There we go. You can even do this in visual mode, of course. And let's just kind of style as we go. This time around, we're going to go style the H2 tag. We're going to make this bold. We will make it blue, and we'll go with our 38 pixels. Bam. Great. Now, we can actually just use the same module. Why not? It's going to be a paragraph, and we'll say you can now either go to your account or create another classified. There we go. And we'll go ahead and deal with just the regular text now. We're going to make that light. We're going to make that our gray color, and then we're going to make that 16 pixels. Perfect. Almost right there, right? So we are going to add yet another row, and we're going to do two columns here, and we're going to place a button in each column. So one button to take the user to their account page, and another one to create another post. So first button is going to be go to my account, and we are going to need to fix that hover style. And then, of course, we can just put your /account because we know that is the slug of our My Account area. So go to design. We're going to fix that button by opening the button settings, custom style settings, and just the hover state of the button, and make sure that that radius remains. And there we go. That's one button down, and I'm going to let it have the icon on this one. So I'm going to duplicate this button. I'll just drag it on over. We'll say submit another classified. There we go. And then, of course, the slug for this one is new-classified. And we know this because that is the slug of the page we created earlier on when we set up the create post form. So there we are, ready to go. We don't need to do anything on the design tab. And that's pretty much it, guys. So I'll go ahead and save my layout. And now what we'll do is we'll come back over here. Now I need to refresh this page before it's going to see that library item because it just needs to read at what's at the library at load. So I'll just reload this. And now with my page refreshed, I can open up the form settings. And it's literally as simple as scrolling down to notices down here. And success message type will be a Divi layout. And then we just select our form notice that we just created. And here are the failed messages that I mentioned to you earlier that you can also set, and that can be a layout as well. So I'm going to go ahead and save this right now. I'm going to save my page, and then we'll go ahead and create another classifieds from the front end. And what we'll do to kind of check the responsiveness of this is we'll do this in the mobile view because, yeah, this is a good practice to make sure everything is nice and responsive as we're building. So let's exit the Visual Builder. I'm going to right-click my page, and I'm going to say Inspect, and that'll bring up the Chrome Dev Tools. I'm using Chrome, of course, and then I'll enable the mobile mode with that button in the top left. You can see that this still looks beautiful with the multi-step, so we can go ahead and select whichever one we want. Now, we can add some padding here at the bottom of these, or maybe some margin. I'll go ahead and do that, and maybe we want them to be centered on mobile, so we'll play around with that when we're done here. So we go next, and now we've got all the different options here. They kind of jumbled up. So again, on mobile, we might not want them to be inline or in columns. We might want to adjust it to just be one column on mobile. We'll say that this item, well, I don't want to give away a free pet. We'll give away a free bag. How's that? And you'll type in a title. So test. And now I'm just going to go do some typing. We'll select the main image. We'll put in a location and we'll say Cape Town. Why not? And then we'll say next. Looks like those buttons need some padding over there too. I'm not sure. And then we'll just say test Roby. I don't know. And then we'll just put in some random numbers in there. And then we'll just do test@test.com. And we'll submit it. Okay, thank you for your classifieds post. Maybe we want to bump that font size a little bit down, and maybe also we want to create in that row that we've got there, just have it go 90% or maybe 95% on mobile, and that'll create a lot more breathing room. So let's go ahead and tackle those few issues right now. I'm going to go ahead and close out my Chrome Dev Tools, and let's hop right into it. So first, let's look at that form notice. I'll just open up the mobile view. And then here, first thing, we're going to deal with the row. We're going to give it sizing. Sorry. We're going to make that 90%. And then what we're going to do is we're going to drag this all the way over. And that was actually incorrect. I'm going to first enable mobile. And then on mobile, we'll make it 90%. Maybe even 95%, to be honest. And then we'll just drag this over. First again, put it on mobile, and then we'll drag it. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, we're happy with that. The buttons, I think it's good with it being left aligned. But again, maybe just work on that font size for the buttons. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm actually okay with this heading here. We can make it a little bit smaller. So we'll go to heading text H2. We'll activate the mobile settings, and then maybe we'll just go with a 34 on mobile for that header. That's good enough. And then for these two buttons, I will go to the design tab. I'll go to button. And then for button text size, not on hover, but on mobile, turn hover off. We'll make that 14. No, I'm going to do 16 because it's going to be a little harder to hit that with your finger, right? If you're going through that fast. So I'll save that one. We'll go in on this one. We'll go to button. We'll go into the responsive settings, and then we'll just scooch that down 2 points on mobile. Great. I'm happy with that. We're going to save that. And now the last thing to deal with is our actual form. So we'll come back over here to the new classifieds. I'm just going to refresh this page really quickly. And now we'll enable the Visual Builder. Now, the main things that I think we want to change is just add some margin to those first categories because they were kind of scrunched up. And then also the radio buttons on the next page, we're going to want to play around with. So Let's open up the settings on these, and then we can just go and select the classified category, design, and spacing. So spacing right over here. And here we've got that margin in there. So maybe we'll just add 15 pixels of margin. It's not going to make a big difference here, but we'll see on mobile when we take a look at it that it actually will make quite the difference. As far as these options go, we're not going to mess around with that too much. And that's really it, guys. So I'm going to get out of this field. And now we'll go to the item type section. And then, of course, we want to see the part where we say, what are we posting? And here they are. And what we're going to need to do is head over to the design tab. And then what we'll do is we'll go to fields. And then we'll scroll down a bit. And here we've got fields text size. Of course, we want to activate the mobile option. And then I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to make this 12 just to give it just a little bit more room over there. So I'm just going to save that up. So just for that one field, we make it a bit smaller just because we're dealing with 3 columns and we're trying to fit in a bunch of text. So that is going to make things a little bit better. Cool. So for the rest of it, I'm actually pretty happy. Of course, we already know this is not what our form looks like on the front end. So let me go ahead and save that. I'll save this. All we're going to do is exit the visual builder to see the front end, and let's right-click the page and inspect, and that should launch into the mobile view. And there we go. We can see we've got a little bit more room on the bottom now, and I think that is exactly what we wanted. So when we go next, the text is a little bit smaller, so things make a little bit more sense over here. You can also go ahead and change the position of the radio buttons. That'll probably make a big difference as far as the accessibility there. And yeah, the rest of it worked pretty good. So we can go all the way to the end. Let's say found. Do a little happy, found, post. We'll just do some keyboard smashing, real angry. We'll open up this. And just as a side note, you can do stuff like change these border colors and all that in the design settings, as well as for the icon. You can make it a different two-tone color. You can even upload your own, just so that you're aware. And the item location is going to be Cape Town again. Why not? And then we'll go next. And then we'll just say Roby. And then we'll just put some more keyboard smashing. And then this I need to do correctly because it validates the input. I'll save that. And there we go. And this is also looking much better. It's a little bit more uniform. I think that is all good stuff. Awesomeness, guys. So that is adding a custom form notice to your form here on the new post creation and making sure that things look nice and responsive. Now, next up, we're going to go ahead and create the edit form. That's going to be a quick breeze through because this is one that we're not going to be working with all the fields. It's not a multi-step form. So I'm going to catch you guys in that lesson real soon.